Hello from Gardening at Dwensa here in Ireland, and it's about time we had a greenhouse tour again. So it's early March and we're going to go into the greenhouse and have a look at the plants in here and just talk about what's been going on. So you are very welcome to my greenhouse, and I'm just giving you a quick pan around so we can get an idea of what's on offer here today. Ending up with this absolutely enormous Brugmansia that's kind of taking over, and in just a second now we'll go through things in a bit more detail. But just to kick off, just a word from Boo Boo, who says welcome to our greenhouse, because it's not my greenhouse at all, it's really hers. So I guess the first thing to say is that the Brugmansia has gone really big and is taking over this whole corner. It really is a most impressive plant, and I was delighted with how much it flowered during the winter. Now, whether or not it stays here permanently or gets moved further down, or whether I just take cuttings and go again from cuttings, I really don't know, but it is really looking super, and it's great to have something that does that well, something that just gets on with it. And on this central table, the Aeoniums are really doing well, and this despite having not a drop of water all winter. See how perky that is? And that one there. Now these ones are actually in soil. Oh, they're all in soil, that's right. So this big crate of Aeoniums was stems. It was basically stems that I cut off and just plunged into some soil in here. And it's doing really quite well. I'm sure there are roots down there now at this stage. And it will get planted out in the garden once there's a reasonable chance that there'll be no more frost. The ones that I didn't pot up, that I just left with bare stems, some of them are looking a little bit dehydrated, but we do have some roots and I'm sure they're going to be okay. I mean, some of them have become too dehydrated and will have to go out, but that's okay. Do you know what? I have a lot of Aeoniums. On the staging here on the right, the Cyclamen are really looking pretty and sunny and good. And do you know what? I am nearly sure that these two here were originally white, but they are so pink this year. I mean, look, we have in here even one of the flowers is completely pink, and this one down the front is very pinkish. Anyway, they look really pretty and I'm pleased to have them here. And obviously I made a Cyclamen care video in autumn, so if you are interested then you can check that out. Boophone is going dormant. There it is. Don't worry, it's okay, it's just going dormant. And then moving along the shelving, I suppose I should point out this Impatiens. And it's a variegated Impatiens that is looking really well. And a bit droopy, but you know, that's because it's had minimal watering. And down here we have old favourites, Echeveria, Compton, Carousel, looking just fantastic. And behind it, Veltheimia, bracteata, just really going over now in terms of the flowers. But I had 4 spikes this year, tall spikes. Over here, my Dudleya really seems to have woken up and gone, yay, spring, because it's looking so perky and ready for action, and really good. I've started giving some of these succulents just a drop of water, the ones that looked like they were doing badly and dehydrating badly, and that includes this NOID thing at the back here that actually has perked up enormously since yesterday when I watered it. Okay, breaking news here at the front, because we have flowers. And this is an Albuca bulb that I bought last year. So it's its first flowering. Very interesting flowers. They're just opening now, so we can't see the full effect. But I really like the way the buds have these white and green stripes on them. Really attractive before the things actually open. Lots of buds there. And I can tell you that this one has survived without a drop of water all winter. Oh, actually that's not true. When I saw that it wanted to flower, I started giving it just a little bit of water. And among the succulents, this Aloe here is forming this flower spike, which got a bit twisted due to the fact that it was on the lower shelf down here, and the poor spike tried to find its way out through the bars and up. And my pelargoniums are just beginning to wake up a bit, so giving them slightly more water now at this stage, and looking good. And let's just venture down now to the bottom shelf, where we can see these Echiums looking very perky, and these would desperately need a pot on at this stage. I don't want them to end up being really small. These are going out in the garden this year, and I won't be digging them up again. They're going to have to fend for themselves in the garden. Quite a hardy little Echium. And then just panning up the staging here, we can see lots of succulents in here, and these are ones that haven't had any water. We have crocuses that are going over, and then we have my Disa orchids, which were repotted in autumn, which is the wrong end of the year to do them, but sometimes, you know, you just have to do a job when you think of it, and they don't seem to have suffered, thankfully. And this one here is getting ready to flower. So this is the giant Menez-Tan one that I got in France, and it has a really enormous orange flower. So I hope that some of the others behind will also flower, but it's a very good start to the year. And from there you can see that we have pots on the floor, and these are my dahlias, which were recently potted up and ready for action. No eyes on them mostly yet, I think it's a bit early. And here we have my seedlings. So we've got hollyhocks at the back, and then mostly the foxglove Pam's Choice here at the front, a beautiful white one. And I'm going to enjoy planting these out in the garden this year. I pricked them out very recently and made a video about that if you're interested in that kind of process. In the centre aisle we have Sparmania, which didn't bother to flower this year, perhaps because I kept it too dry, and some other things that were ticking over with minimal water. And down at the very base here we have a succulent which is in full flower. And this is cotyledon, and it produces these kind of orange drooping flowers. And we've got several clusters this year. There's another one down there, and the third one up here which you saw, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. On this central table we can see I have my hardy orchids, which include cymbidiums, and here's the white one, NOID one, which is gracing us with a few flowers this year. And then behind it we have various other ones, but this isn't an orchid update, so we won't concentrate on that, but we will concentrate on the Clivia, which is giving me this big sunny face. And everyone, it seems, loves the Clivia. It really is a very clear bright orange. Now these flowers here in this cluster have gone darker, but when the blooms open, as is happening on this spike down there, it's a much more vibrant colour. Over the back we have the Insete bananas I've propagated. We have my Protea collection. There they are. And we have my epiphyllums. And the epiphyllums were largely repotted last summer. And the result of that simple action is a multitude of buds. Look at them all along here. And if we go up here, you'll see this one has a bud, and over there we have more buds. Down here we have more buds, and up here we have more buds, and in here we have more buds, and more buds over here. I think it's going to be a mammoth epiphyllum flowering for me this year. And now we're over the other side of the greenhouse, where we can look down and see that really big Brugmansia down there, and some tree ferns on the left up there, and my Protea. Oh, let's have a look at the Protea. And this year my Protea is going to give me 4 flowers. So there's this one here, this one here, a third one up at the top here, and a fourth one down below. There he is. So I'm really looking forward to these. We have bananas that have just been kept watered, and including my large Insete. And a couple of people asked me about this, how I overwinter my Insete, because the conventional way to do it is to cut off all the leaves and dry the thing out by placing it upside down, and then to store it dark and relatively cool, which I tried one year, but it really didn't work out that well for me. I mean, the banana was okay, but it just takes a while to come back again. So I've been doing it this way for years, and I'll just keep on doing that. Thank you very much. I give it a little water, and I really don't have a lot of problems. It just kind of does well. So yeah, we'll continue with that. Over just on the left here, you can see a few dahlias, which I forgot to pot up. Oh no, we're going to have to get to those. The tree ferns always look so exciting as they begin to unfurl at this time of year. And this frond here has all these little curly bits coming off it. And for succulents that have dehydrated too much in winter, as has happened here with this collection here, the trick is not to panic, and whatever you do, don't suddenly water them with a whole load of water. The trick is to keep them nice and warm, and to just introduce a tiny little bit of water gradually, which is what I'm doing with these ones, and they will begin to plump up in a short time. Okay, so now we have a bad story, a failure story, which is what has happened with my plumerias, my frangipanis. So I've always overwintered these plants in the house up until now, having believed that they took a 10-degree minimum, but well, anyway, I decided to try them outdoors in the greenhouse this year, where we have a 5-degree minimum, and the result is not good. So all the growing tips are kind of rotted off here, and this is despite not having a drop of water all winter, which is what we need to do with frangipanis anyway, and what I always did in the house. And you can see that this whole trunk here is completely rotted. So I guess basically these are for the bin. It's a shame, but they were getting so big now, it was really difficult to overwinter them in the house. So I guess I will have to say goodbye. And to recap, I highly recommend a 10-degree minimum for plumerias in winter, and to be kept bone dry. And I guess that kind of brings me to the end of this greenhouse update, which I hope you enjoyed. And if there's a particular plant I didn't mention that you'd like me to mention next time, then do jot it down below in a comment. And just to remind you that if you want to support the channel, you could do so by either buying a copy of my book, buying some of my merchandise, t-shirts, mugs, tote bags, all that kind of thing, or you can actually donate to the channel. And links to all of these 3 ways to contribute can be found on each video that I upload, and also on my About tab on the main YouTube page. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope that your spring jobs are going well and your greenhouse is looking great. See you in the next video. Bye.